Oh, well, hello people. As you know, today was Challenge Wanaka, and this race was a really important race for me, not because it was hard, anyway, because it was not a challenge to me in the slightest. It's because it's a landmark. The day that I was told, which was 2nd of October last year, the day that I was told that I would lose my leg below the knee, I decided to enter Challenge Wanaka. I promptly contacted Bill Roxburgh, the Challenge Wanaka race director, and asked him how we could make this possible. Obviously I was going to do it as a team. We had this wee conversation, me and Bill, and then I had the amputation afterwards. And then further down the line, I was told by many people that I should cancel it. It's not a feasible goal. It's far too soon after the surgery. My surgeon and I were the only two people on the same page. All the rest of the medical team thought I was being ridiculous. Now, as you know, I had already done 2 more swim races before this because I can. However, this one was different. This is a triathlon. This is back in my own field, the field that I used to be in before I had to stop racing because of the knee, and then we never went back to it because then the foot. I actually entered Challenge Wanaka last year as an aqua bike, and that was supposed to be my comeback race after my knee replacement, which was 2018. I didn't actually get to do it because my left foot had started giving me trouble and I was no longer able to ride the bike. So I actually had to pull out of Challenge Wanaka last year, and that's how I ended up being the swimmer in a team. That's how I ended up knowing the cyclist that I had in the team this year. So there is a little bit of unfinished business for me in Challenge Wanaka because I never actually got to start it as an individual. Now, I know that the swim is easy peasy. I now know that getting to the bike is not easy. And I already know that cycling with a prosthetic leg is not easy either. But did you ever hear me say I can't do something and just give up? Well, no, of course not. So when I spoke to Bill yesterday at the race venue, and we talked about how I was going to get in and out and the getting through to the transition and all that sort of thing, he said then about me coming back and finishing it off as an individual. I was like, you know what, Bill, I'm going to do that. So we had a conversation about the fact that it was a beach start. I had no idea it was a beach start. And he thought me getting into the lake with crutches would be easy. Obviously, you don't have the understanding of how difficult that is if you only have 1 foot to stand on. So in the end, I was allowed to be in the water. Now, I was the only person today out of 1,000 odd athletes that was disabled and had to start that way. I'm actually surprised the rest of the people in the swim wave didn't say anything. But actually, when I was getting into the lake, I went down to the water's edge. My handler comes with me, and he's already got the leg, and I have the wetsuit on and the crutches. And then I get into the water, so I'm a wee bit in, and then I sit down. Now, usually it's fall down, sit down, fall down. It doesn't matter really. And when I did this, there's a girl was coming out of the lake, and she thought I'd fallen over and stuck her hand out to help me up. And I said, no, I'm sitting on the floor on purpose because I've only got 1 foot. I was like, And that's the only person that did or say anything. So anyway, I did a swim, and the swim was actually, by our calculations, 3 minutes faster than I expected it to be, which is a bloody miracle really, because I couldn't see the second boy at all. It was in the shade of a mountain, and the sun was coming over the mountain. So I had the sun in my eyes, and the boy was in the shade. Couldn't see a chuffing thing, and I was following the swimmers, and I hate doing that because I don't like trusting other people to go in a straight line. But it worked well because I came in 3 minutes faster, and the leg was on the beach. Now there's the finish arch just up the beach, and the leg is here before the exit arch, and the commentators here, and the crowds are all looking. And of course, I'm the only disabled athlete. They're all like, whoa! They all think this is amazing. Now, we have never tried this before, so I'd worked it out before with the handler that he was going to get down on one knee, and I was going to sit on that knee to put the leg on. And I was going to put the leg on over the top of the wetsuit. We'd tried it before and worked out how many layers I needed to make it work so I could walk. So wetsuit, liner, socks, leg over the top of that, and I stand up. Now, of course, it takes a few minutes, and by this time the crowd, well, they're like, they couldn't quite believe what they were seeing, and I can't remember what the commentator said, but some remark about, my gosh, look at that, it's like an extra transition. Well, you're right, it is. So I then walked up to, walked up to the transition. Now we're going up the beach, across the road, across the field, and round transition. It's quite a distance. Now I was absolutely knackered when I got there, but I got there, and all the way up I had heard comments and cheers and whoops and people saying about how inspirational it was, and oh my God, she's making me feel bad. All the way up the chute I heard those comments, and I didn't acknowledge each and every one of them, but they all really meant something to me. And I very proudly got to the bike and the cyclist, and he took the timing chip off my ankle and away he went. Now, I did not think that would even be possible when I entered the race. I had no question in my mind that I'd be able to swim that distance without a leg. And if the healing hadn't have worked and I hadn't have got the swimming in that I had planned, I was going to bloody do it anyway and just cover it up with waterproof dressing. But I didn't know whether I would have a prosthetic or not. The first thing the race director had said is, oh, you've got a leg. I also didn't know whether I'd be able to walk that distance or not the day I entered it. And until I walked down there yesterday, I didn't even know what the terrain looked like. And this matters a lot to an amputee. So I walked it through yesterday and then knew I could do it. So I was really, really proud of myself when I got there and he took the timing chip off my ankle and I didn't need to do a shortcut. But as we went around through the day, the biker hit his target. The runner is stoked with his, and it was a fiendish course and it was 30 degrees. Not for me though. But what I discovered that I really miss is the atmosphere of a triathlon, because you've got young and old, you've got the weekend warriors and the top elite people, they're all there in the same group, they're all talking and milling with each other, and it's just an amazing camaraderie atmosphere, and it's just something I've missed because I haven't seen it for several years. And I really did feel a bit of loss for triathlon sitting watching all of that today, and it made me all the more determined to make this flipping leg ride a bike so that I will be back there. I honestly don't think it will be next year, but it could well be the one after that, back there doing the aqua bike as an individual, as a para triathlete. That is what I'm going to do.
Use the code challenge Wanaka, you'll get 20% off, and thank you to Rose Events.